right, we're here at I already forgot the address. 332 Maynard, next to the Maynard parking deck, scorekeepers, kitty corner for NYPD. And we are in Axe Ventura with Anthony Taylor.
That's right.
And Shannon Kozyra. Got it?
Yeah.
Got it.
Nice.
And we are this is like the newest, hottest place in Ann Arbor, the like greatest experience. Multiple people have told me like, hey, have you done axe throwing at Axe Ventura yet? And I was like, first of all, the name is enough for me. I think the name is hilarious. But I haven't done it yet, although it's Sunday morning, so maybe we'll hold off. But I also had heard that your story, both of your stories, but Anthony, especially yours, was really like rooted in this place and built from scratch, built by yourself. We were just talking about bootstrapping, and wanted to come out and hear the story. So thanks for having me. We appreciate it. You're also you've got quite a brace. Yeah, you got quite a brace on your leg, so I appreciate the.
Don't recommend ACL surgery.
Mason's gonna have it soon, so we'll cut him a break when he does. So tell us a little about your background. When you walk into Axe Ventura, by the way, there's a picture of you two at around age 13 or 14. And it's very endearing. I love that picture.
I can't believe she actually hung that. I saw those prints and I was like, damn. Damn.
Braces and all. That's a great touch. Yeah,
that's
exactly
a crazy
right.
story. Yeah, we've known each other a very long time.
So tell us a little bit about that story.
Ooh, you want to touch that one? You're better at the whole us story because I don't remember it correctly. Apparently.
Yeah, we better tell the story so no one gets in trouble. That's really what it comes down to.
We dated in middle school and high school, and then he was enough older that he just went off to college, and we went our separate ways. Paths kind of kept crossing around the world a little bit, but lived different lives, and then we both ended up in Michigan.
She slid into my DMs.
This is wholesome. I was just talking about braces in middle school, and now you're talking about
there's a lot of none of that.
Yeah. And then I got into Michigan, and she, like I said, slid into my DMs to congratulate me. And then I found out that she was like living in Michigan. I didn't know that. And then I came up here. I think it was like the second weekend I was here, and I already had to get away. So I just went and saw her, and then just kept doing that.
Yeah.
Then she started coming over here.
So she became part of this story at Axe Ventura. But tell us a little bit about your background, and you're an undergrad here right now,
Correct.
Right? But you've had a little bit of a journey to get to this point, right?
Big journey, yeah. So after high school, like you said, I went to college the first time. Didn't go so well. I got too wrapped up in the whole party scene. Mm-hmm. Failed out. Yeah. Terrible grades, whatnot. And then I did a little bit of factory work for a while. Hated it. So my mom recommended joining the military. So that's what I did. At the time, like, best decision ever made. Yeah. It was great. Got me out of, Ohio, whatever. So I spent 9 years in the Coast Guard. Traveled the world. Been all over the place.
Where have you been?
So my first unit after, my initial training was down in Key West, and I was on a ship down there, and we were doing counter narcotics in the Caribbean. So we went all over the place from, Grand Cayman, South America, Colombia.
Oh, wow.
Like Puerto Rico, all over the place down there. And then even Africa, spent 4 months in Africa, going up and down the coast on the west side. And then after that, I went to Jacksonville. As like a land unit. I was kind of bored, and so I volunteered to go to the Middle East for a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then spent the year over there.
With the Coast Guard?
Yeah.
What does the Coast Guard do overseas like that?
So it's a lot of like, I don't know, like oil platform security type of stuff, and a little bit of like inner like relations and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I spent a year over there, like Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, those areas. It was a good experience as well.
Yeah.
And then after that, I came back and went to California. Spent my last 2 years out there, and then got out while I was out there.
And in total, how long were you serving?
9 years.
9 years you served.
Like
wow.
2 months over 9 years or something like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then I came home, and I really wanted
home to Ohio.
Ohio, yeah. Yep. And I wanted to go back to college. Like I was getting really good job offers because I was doing electronics as a specialty, 8 years hands-on experience. Like I have a degree in electronics.
Yeah.
So I was getting very good job offers.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore. So I was like, dead set on going back to college. But when I mentioned like the first go around, I failed out.
Right.
So nobody was going to let me in.
Well, I mean, the thing is that there's this assumption that, you know, the path is that you're ready right after high school. When in reality, that's just not the case. It's not the case for people that come here and get fine grades and graduate. Most of them aren't in the path that they want. They're not in their jobs they want, and they only learn that years later, right? And so
Kids.
Very
they're
true.
kids, right? They're kids. I mean, we were talking about that earlier. You know, we really truly are kids, and so you know, to have found a way out, you know, from that path, having it not defined you, to find another path is great. And to be able to like have the fortitude, and I was telling you, I'm like, all props to you for being able to come back and do it again. So, you know, how'd you make that decision?
To go back to school?
Yeah.
Well, I was tired of other people telling me how to live my life.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what
Right.
it comes down to. So it's not necessarily so much motivation of like what I know what I want to do. I know what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to go back and work in a factory. I don't want to have somebody else telling me what to do. So that's why I'm doing like my own businesses. I'm going back to school for, you know, athletic training, kinesiology right now. And I'm doing that not to get a job,
Right.
but to open, you know,
A
more
practice.
businesses. Yeah,
That's great.
Exactly.
Awesome.
But yeah, going back to school in your 30s is not easy.
It's not. I mean,
Not
going going to school period is not easy,
Especially here.
Yeah, that's right.
hard.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm still waiting for them to be like, we made a mistake on your acceptance.
That will never. I'm sure that's not true. But you're absolutely right. Going back to school, going to school is hard. Going back to school is hard. And then going back to school when you're a, you know, maybe not a generation is maybe a little big of an exaggeration. But when you're, you know,
like
good
15
10,
years
10,
older
15
than
years
these kids,
older.
yeah.
That's right. Is
Because I'm starting at the bottom. I'm
That's
not
right.
like the seniors are 22.
Right.
But I started as a freshman.
Right.
So I'm with like the 18, 19
That's right.
year olds, you know?
so obviously you're already biting off a lot.
Yeah.
And then you had the itch to take on more responsibility. How did Axe
not
Ventura
nec-
start?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily an itch. So we went 2 New Years ago, down to Kentucky, or not last year, the New Year's before that.
Okay.
We went down to Kentucky and just on a whim, just randomly drove down there, and we're looking for things to do. And we saw Axe throwing on like TV at a Mexican restaurant. We were like, yo, let's go do that.
Yeah.
And then we did it. Loved it. She's going to tell the story about how she won, I'm sure.
I did.
Let's pause for
Pause.
that story.
Pause.
Yeah, please.
He's one of these, as you can tell, he just like picks up anything and he's good at it.
Okay.
And it's very frustrating because as a counterpart, you need to be able to encourage that, but be prepared to lose
Right.
all the time.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, we'll go do this and I'll lose and it'll be great. But I didn't. I won. I forever have the first win.
It was like the Little Giants. You know, like that one time.
Yeah, I know.
She's never
The
done
annexation
this.
of Puerto Rico.
Absolutely.
That's right. I know.
So
the
then
Little Giants.
she's never done it again.
That's what she was to you the other night
When?
when we were playing up front. He was throwing left-handed, but I still won.
We'll cut that out. Mason, let's cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah.
All right. So you went that first time. You loved it. This is while you're back at Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was like
2019.
2019. Yeah, I started in 2018 here.
Got it.
And then we were on the drive home, and I was like, yo, I want to do this again. And I was looking into here,
Yeah.
and the closest place is in Novi. And I was like, business-minded
Yeah.
that we both are. We started joking, right?
Right.
Let's open up one of these, in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
And then
We also thought we could do it for
everything
a
that we
building
thought,
like...
everything we thought was wrong.
Yeah.
But this is where the name was born. She was like, what would you call it? Within 2 seconds, I busted it out. Like, first name, Axe Ventura. We both had a good laugh, and I stuck with it. I was like,
It's
so
such a
funny.
great name.
That was the easiest decision we made.
that
in
was
the whole process.
that was the whole thing. Yeah,
Has
the name was easy.
have you ever reached out or tweeted at or mentioned Jim Carrey to see if he? Oh, that's gotta happen. That's gotta happen.
No.
Neither of us are
I don't do the tweeting.
fluent with...
Social media, as we mentioned,
We'll chat about
Older.
that later.
older.
Yeah,
I'll
that's it.
scroll memes, but that's about it.
That would be good. I bet he would get a kick out of it. So you're like, we can do this. We can open a business. What you're in
on the drive
school.
home, yeah.
Well, I want to go back and mention to everybody. You're an undergrad.
Yeah.
And you're starting.
Also, like, I'm doing athletic training here, which requires a lot of extensive clinical hours.
Right.
Which is another 20 hours a week on top of, being an undergrad.
Right.
You weren't doing those when we first started those. So
I
thought we
guess.
had more time.
Yeah. When we started in February, like really getting serious about looking for, commercial real estate.
Right.
And we thought, like, oh, we can be open in 2 months.
Yeah.
Open in 2 months.
Yeah.
And it took us almost 8 months to even get a lease signed.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have, corporate funding.
Yeah.
We don't have any experience in business. So nobody wanted to work with us.
Right.
And we started working with this place just right up the street here. And it was in a basement. And we spent like 4 months working on this. And then it comes out that the city needed the place to have a sprinkler system. Mm-hmm. And I don't have another $250,000. And the people that had the place didn't want to put that in. Right. I don't blame them. So then after that 4 months of like working with cities, architects, permits, and everything, we got shot down.
Back to
right where most people would have given up.
Right.
I was like, nope, we're going to keep going because, we believed in it. We believed in what we were doing. I think is what it really comes down to. So then we found this place.
They brought it to us before it came on the market.
Yeah, they brought it to us. And we had to basically like Shark Tank pitch, John.
Yep. John Split.
We had to convince him to shut his business down for us to come in. And as you can see, like 40 years of business, it's not easy to talk somebody out of like,
right.
Shut your whole business down. Let us use this.
That's right.
With something that you've never heard of.
So did you how did that go?
Better than we thought it was going to go, because we were getting shot down left and right by everybody because we had no experience. Mm-hmm. We had none of those, like you said, like I said, we don't have the corporate funding. Like we couldn't pay for rent up front for the year like most people wanted, Yeah. But
we also had to wrap a lot of our money up right away that we didn't like.
Yeah.
Right.
To secure places, it's the money that talks.
Right.
But it went better than we thought. Like we had the initial thing, like a mindset of, please, somebody let us use your place.
Yeah.
Please. And then we realized that like we are going to be the attraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, everybody loves this place.
Yeah.
We knew that's how it was going to be.
That's right.
So then we adopted that mindset of like, you would be happy to have us.
That's
like
right.
You'd be lucky to let us use your business. So then we adopted that mindset and went forward with that confidence, and it worked.
And Ann Arbor has a few, more than a handful of landlords who have owned their buildings for a long time and actually are invested in the diversity of retail in the diversity of businesses in downtown Ann Arbor. Mm-hmm. And so, John obviously saw something and decided to take a leap with the both of you. There are others too that are not just corporations, but people that work and live here and own buildings and want to give this a shot. And many of them have given me a shot over the couple last couple decades. So that's awesome that you were able to find that. So,
so that's where the fun began.
Yeah. Now we're not even to the hard part yet. I'm sure.
No, we're not. No, but for us that was extremely frustrating because we just wanted a shot,
Yeah.
And we had to put everything on the line for it.
Yeah.
Everything, which is, that's fine. But then after, like I said, 8 months, we signed a lease in, I think, August. And it wasn't like 8 months of, just chilling and, like we were like really actively seeking out places to let us rent.
Right.
And then in August, we got that lease signed, and then it began. Like it got serious. And as you can see from like these pictures, you probably can't see on there.
Yeah, we'll walk around and take a few shots.
This place was still a fully functioning dry cleaners. The biggest pain were these bathrooms there. Oh my. We had to demo the old ones, and we had to build these new ones.
I saw the drinking fountains, which I only just recently learned that drinking fountains are part of code. You have to have drinking fountains.
Yes, we do.
I learned that as well.
You have to have two.
Yeah, I learned that as well.
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
And our old bathrooms were 1 foot too small.
Yeah, so we had to come in and build completely new ones. And we had to do that around him taking all of his equipment out. Mm-hmm. So you have to imagine this place was full of equipment.
Right.
And we're in the corner trying to build ADA-approved bathrooms.
Right.
Took 2 months.
Wow.
And we're doing this on the weekends. There's 3 of us. It's me, her, and Connor. Well, her dad as well, so 4 of us. And we're doing this on the weekends because she doesn't live here. I'm a full-time student, also doing clinicals, like 20 hours a week. And our other partner, Connor, is also a full-time student.
So you're
studying economics here.
So you're two full-time students, someone making a decent commute,
3 hours,
3 hour commute, And basically at this juncture, you're doing it because of grit, like determination.
Basically,
right?
yeah, because people told me we couldn't.
Because basically
I wanted
to
to
stick
prove
it to a
everybody
bunch of
wrong.
people, right? Yeah.
And we'd signed a bunch of paperwork.
Right, yeah.
That was after the paperwork was signed. I was like, oh shit.
I remember looking at each other going, what did we just do?
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
like, oh man, like
That's
we worked
awesome.
so hard for it, but like now it's real. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's right.
But then, of course, like we couldn't give up, so we did that. And then after the bathrooms were built, then we had to build all this stuff. But
Right.
there were a couple times where we need extra hands, and me and Connor are both veterans, and we can always rely on that community. We put it out like
That's
a part
amazing.
of the SBA here.
Yeah.
We're like put up the bat symbol, or whatever. We're
Yeah.
like, we need hands.
Yeah, that's
10,
amazing.
15 people would show up.
That's
what I mean?
amazing.
So we got like this whole back wall like built in.
And proudly
Right.
displaying flags as well.
Yeah, so the flag raising we did because me and Connor are both part of the SVA here.
Yeah. Student Veterans Association.
Student Veterans of America.
Oh, Student
It's
Veterans
the
of
chapter
America,
of
yep.
UM.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we got with them because we worked with them. They
Yeah.
helped us. We helped them. So we had each, like a person from each branch come and donate a flag, and we put them up. It was like
awesome.
a whole thing, and I let the SVA
Yeah.
have a whole area.
Yeah.
We just threw. It was cool.
That's great.
But then, after, we built all this stuff, then,
So had to have everything approved.
I think we went through like maybe 10 different inspections, which is a nightmare in its own.
So from start to finish, how long did it take?
11 months.
11 months.
From
11 months.
idea, like from conception of the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To open. Actually, that would be like 12 months because the idea happened like January 2nd.
Right.
Yeah, and we
right.
And then we opened December 6th.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So took a while, but we're here now, and it's an amazing testament, I think, to first of all a second career almost, right, for you as a student, and then as a trainer, and then now as a business owner.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And learning a lot, I'm sure, learning a ton, I'm sure.
Very, very big learning process. Yeah. And like this is something that we just like, I guess, who starts a business as a hobby? You know what I mean?
A lot of it. I would say.
I like a brick and mortar business.
I would say that that's not what people read about and hear about in the news. They don't hear
Yeah.
about the businesses that are side hustles, side businesses, side gigs. They hear about the unicorns and the
Yeah.
billion-dollar businesses. But this is the backbone of entrepreneurship. So
Absolutely.
So I would say a lot of people, we just don't get to hear about them, and
Yeah.
we don't get to hear these stories, especially about veterans that are doing awesome things. So when I heard a little snippet, we thought we got to come out here and
That's
check
awesome.
it out.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So, well, thanks so much for having us. This was awesome. Great to hear the story, and everyone's got to get out here and throw some axe.
It's awesome.
What's the term? Is it called throwing some axe? What do you say?
I guess.
Throw axe?
We throw down.
Throw down.
Throw down.
Throw down. Okay, everyone's got to get out here and throw down.
We throw down.
All right,
We
thanks.
did.
I
Thanks,
guess.
guys.